Welcome to the third installment of our immersive series, where you step into the role of a medieval warrior, experiencing a typical day in their shoes. The previous episodes have taken you through a battle and a nightly tournament. But now it's time to see what life is like during the mundane peacetime. This is not to say, however, that your existence will be peaceful. Duty never sleeps, and maintenance is constant. So grab your helmet, polish your armor, and join us as we get up early, train hard, and hope to survive the day. Polishing chainmail at dawn, you kneel on rough-hewn planks, the hiss of metal brushing against metal echoing in the silent barracks. Your fingertips grow red and raw as you stroke each ring, seeking the faintest gleam. Imagine the rhythm of your strokes, the gentle scrape, the soft clink lunging you into focus. As the pale light of sunrise seeps beneath the tent flap, you feel the weight of that mail settle back onto its stand, ready for another day's service. Rations and the morning meal. A horn sounds across the camp, low and steady. You rise, shoulders aching from the night's chill, and join the queue. The cook's cauldron bubbles with watery gruel, starchy barley, thickened by a handful of beans. You dip your wooden bowl and lift the spoonful to your lips, tasting the earthiness of grain and the faint sweetness of boiled root vegetables. Each swallow grounds you. You are part of something greater, bound by hunger and shared routine. March preparations. By mid-morning, you trudge alongside mounted knights, your boots sinking into a dusty track that winds through scrubling. The sun climbs higher, baking the earth beneath your feet. With each step, clouds of dust erupt, tiny particles that coat your throat and nostrils, a constant reminder that the path to glory is paved in grit. You cough softly, wiping sweat from your brow as your lungs adjust to the dusty cadence of the march. Training drills. At the training grounds, wooden dummies stand sentinel. You grasp your practice sword, its hilt smooth from countless grip sand. The repetitive thud of blade against wood fills the air. Block, strike, parry. Block, strike, parry. In these drills, the rhythm of combat becomes second nature, carving discipline into muscle and bone. Between strikes, you close your eyes and whisper your oath. To serve, to protect, to endure. Swallow dust, camp chores, and quiet reflections. Late afternoon finds you hauling water from shallow wells, each pail full, sloshing as you navigate the uneven earth. Your shoulders burn, and yet there is comfort in this toil. In the simple act of pouring clean water into barrels, you witness the ripple of life sustaining an entire order. When chores are done, you retreat beneath a worn oak shade. You close your eyes, listen to the distant clang of hammer and the murmur of prayer, and for a moment feel the world's weight ease upon you. A day in the life of a medieval warrior. Now that you've made it through your average training day, we can look more closely at what your existence was actually like. Despite being part of a large group of men, life for a medieval warrior was often lonely. Spending much of their time alone with only their thoughts for company, they would often take long, solitary walks to clear their mind. And if they were lucky enough to have a pet dog, they might even bring their furry companion along for moral support. It's also very likely that your job would require you to fast. If you are of the Christian faith, this means going without food and drink from one meal until the next. To avoid causing yourself harm, many warriors would limit themselves to 2 meals a day, drastically reducing their caloric intake. Not exactly ideal when your job requires peak physical fitness. If you weren't fasting, you might have eaten 3 meals a day, but don't expect them to be anything special. The first meal was usually eaten at around 7 a.m. and consisted of coarse bread, cheese, milk, or ale. Then nothing much was consumed until dinner, which was commonly eaten at around 5 p.m. Again, the same selection of food was usually served, although meat could sometimes be added to the mix. It's worth noting that those in charge had far better access to nutritious meals than their fellow comrades. Free time. Now that you've eaten, let's assume that you have some free time before it's time to go to sleep. What could you possibly do? Well, considering that reading was not exactly common among the illiterate soldiery, most would probably pass the time by telling stories and jokes with their fellow companions. For those lucky enough to know how to read, they might take the time to sharpen up their skills. Books were obviously hard to come by, but religious tracts were actually quite popular, and many soldiers would commit passages to memory. In addition to books and scrolls, warriors would often play games with their comrades, many of which we still enjoy to this day. Dice games were especially popular, and a knight might find himself gambling his pay on the outcome of a roll. Pilgrimage. Every so often, a knight may be ordered to escort a pilgrimage. These were groups of people who wanted to travel to a holy site, such as a church or the tomb of a saint. It was common for the route to a holy site to be fraught with danger, making the services of a knight invaluable. However, that's not to say that every journey was filled with peril. Sometimes knights found themselves having to protect pilgrims from other knights, who wanted to rob them of their valuables. Regardless of the threat, a knight's duty was to ensure the safety of the pilgrimage. While these journeys could last days, weeks, or even months, a knight was expected to remain vigilant the whole time. They couldn't simply tell the group to run ahead and catch up with them later. No, they had to stick with the slowest members and ensure nobody got left behind. Tournaments. We've already covered tournaments in detail in episode 2, but to summarize, these events were sort of like festivals. complete with jousting, sword fighting, and archery contests. Tournaments often lasted for several days and nights, would earn points for their respective teams based on their performance in each event. In addition to being a great source of entertainment, tournaments were also useful for knights looking to gain fame and recognition. This was especially true for younger knights who hadn't yet proven themselves in battle. After all, a knight's reputation could make or break their career. And what better way to promote yourself than by winning a prestigious tournament? Castle life. Castles were big, imposing structures that often took years to build. They provided shelter and security for the people who lived there, as well as a place to store supplies and livestock. Most castles were built in rural areas, but some were located in small towns or villages. This allowed the castle to serve as both a residence for the nobility and a fortress in case of attack. Castles were typically made of stone or brick, with high, thick walls and towers. They had a number of different buildings inside them, such as a great hall for eating and entertaining guests, as well as barracks for soldiers. Some castles also had a chapel and a prison. The drawbridge was one of the most iconic features of a castle. It allowed people to enter and exit the castle safely, as well as preventing invaders from entering. The drawbridge was also useful for transporting goods and livestock in and out of the castle. Brawls. Sadly, if you didn't die on the battlefield or from illness, you might end up dying from an injury sustained in a brawl. Taverns were notorious for their rowdy atmosphere, with patrons often becoming heavily intoxicated and getting into fights. Serving in the military meant that you were often far away from home for extended periods of time. This led to some soldiers developing homesickness, which could result in a general feeling of melancholy and loneliness. Luckily, there was always alcohol, which helped to dull the pain and remind them of happier times. Unfortunately, drinking became an issue within the military. Soldiers would often drink to excess, leading to all sorts of problems. Drunken brawls were common, as were instances of soldiers falling asleep while on duty. Alcoholism was also a problem, as many soldiers became addicted to drink. This led to a number of different social issues, such as neglect of family and absenteeism. The Black Death, one of the worst plagues in history. The Black Death killed millions of people across Europe in the 14th century. It was caused by a bacterium called Yersinia pestis, which was carried by fleas that lived on rats. The disease was particularly deadly, with around 60% of those infected dying within a week. Symptoms of the Black Death included fever, chills, headaches, nausea, and vomiting. It also caused buboes to appear, which were swollen lymph nodes that could be warm to the touch and extremely painful. The Black Death had a devastating impact on medieval society. Not only did it kill millions of people, but it also led to widespread panic and fear. People began to believe that the world was ending, and this led to all sorts of superstitious behavior. For example, some people began to accuse Jews of poisoning wells in order to spread the disease. Others began to practice flagellation, which involved whipping themselves as a form of penance. Now that you know just how horrible life was for a medieval warrior, why not check out our series Origins, where we take you back to the beginning of some of the most iconic weapons and pieces of armor ever created. Ah, now that's a relief. I can finally take off this blasted hat. I haven't been able to all day. The sun dips below the horizon, setting the sky aflame with hues of orange and purple. A lone figure stands silhouetted against the vibrant backdrop, their features obscured by the gathering darkness. This is your life now. The air grows cooler, carrying with it the scent of pine and wood smoke. A symphony of crickets and owls fills the stillness, punctuated by the distant hoot of an owl. You pull your cloak tighter, seeking solace in its familiar warmth. Memories of a life well lived, a life before the darkness, flicker like dying embers in the fading light. The weight of your past, both joyous and sorrowful, settles upon you like a shroud. The pain of loss, the sting of betrayal, the warmth of love, the echo of laughter. It's all here in the twilight of your years. You raise your head, gazing at the celestial tapestry above. Stars begin to pepper the darkening canvas of the night sky, each twinkling pinprick a distant sun. In the vast expanse, you find a fleeting sense of peace. But peace is a visitor that stays only for a while. For in the quiet of the evening, your thoughts turn to the morrow. Tomorrow, the sun will rise again, bringing with it the relentless march of time. And with the dawning of each new day, your burden feels ever so slightly heavier. Suddenly, a twig snaps in the stillness. You whirl around, senses heightened, every muscle tensed, ready to spring into action. But it's just the wind, just the wind. You let out a breath you didn't realize you were holding. Disappointment, like a phantom limb, aches where hope once resided. Hope, where has it gone? What was once a beacon in the darkness has flickered and died, leaving you stranded in this desolate landscape. Then a gentle breeze whispers through the trees, carrying with it the sweet melody of a distant flute. Could it be? Is it really him? Hope rekindles in your chest, warming you from the inside out. With newfound strength, you stumble forward, eager to embrace the melody, to lose yourself in its enchanting embrace. But as you reach out, the music fades, leaving you in a world of gray silence once more. You sink to your knees, despair threatening to engulf you. Why do you bother? Why do you keep going? There must be more, something more, a reason to endure another sunrise, another battle against the encroaching darkness. What was it that had stirred within you that fragile flame of hope? Was it merely a trick of the shadows, a cruel jest of fate? Hush. Or was it a signpost, a silent guide beckoning you towards the light? You searched the heavens, seeking answers in the uncaring expanse of the cosmos. But there is no reply, only the cold, distant stare of the stars. And then you feel it again, that gentle touch, a whisper of warmth in the encroaching chill. Hope rekindles in your heart, a tiny ember in the gathering gloom. Slowly you rise, your resolve hardening in the face of adversity. The darkness may try to consume you, but you will resist. You will hold on to hope, nurture it, let it grow until it becomes a guiding light in the darkest hour. For even in the deepest despair, hope is a tenacious flame that refuses to be extinguished. It flickers, it dances, it whispers promises of a brighter dawn. And as long as you hold on to it, you will keep fighting, keep moving forward. Tell me, old friend, have you found solace in the twilight years? Do you too find comfort in the promise of rest? Share your thoughts, your stories, your experiences. Let us find strength in each other's shared humanity. Remember, in the grand tapestry of life, our twilight years are just another thread, a testament to a life well lived, a story that deserves to be told and cherished. So come, let us gather around the virtual watchfire and find solace in the warmth of shared stories and the silent understanding that binds us together. The sun cracks open the horizon, spilling pale gold onto the battered walls of Acre. Through a slit in the masonry, you see the enemy lines, rows upon rows of wooden towers bristling with archers whose shafts thud into the defenders' shields like distant drumming. A shiver runs down your spine, but you press yourself against the cool masonry, unyielding as the stone around you. You are a squire, barely more than a boy, armed with nothing but a knife, a water skin, and unshakable resolve. Before you, the vast panorama of the Siege of Acre unfolds. In the distance, the rolling hills of northern Samaria stretch under a sky bruised with storm clouds. Closer, the tents of the Muslim relief army shimmer like a mirage in the morning heat. And between the city of Acre, its harbor choked with crusader ships, stands defiant, though the logic of war tells you there is no hope. Your brother-in-arms grips your shoulder, his face grim in the morning gloom. He turns his head, eyes glittering with quiet determination. The first assault will be at dawn, he says, his voice raspy with fatigue and thirst. We must hold. The lives of thousands depend on it. He nods towards the rampart opposite you. There, Men hurried to complete a new barricade of barrels and shields, hastily reinforcing the walls against the coming onslaught. Their movements are swift, efficient, born of long experience in war. You swallow hard, trying to match their confidence. As you wait for the sun to climb higher, you scan the horizon, searching for any sign of movement in the enemy camp. But all is still, eerily silent. Only the mournful cry of a hawk cuts through the tense quiet. It feels as if the very air is holding its breath, waiting. Then you hear it, a low rumble that seems to rise from the very earth itself. It grows steadily louder, shaking the ground beneath your feet. A tremor of fear runs through you. What is that? Your brother-in-arms turns, his face etched with concern. "Trebuchets," he says grimly. "They are bringing the thunder." Just then, the sky erupts in a shower of sparks. A massive boulder the size of a house crashes through the air, landing with a deafening crash beyond the walls. Another follows, and then another, each one an explosive promise of death. But miraculously, none have found their mark. A grin slowly spreads across your brother's face. "They cannot hit the broadside of a barn, let alone this wall," he says, relief evident in his voice. But they do tire a man out. Suddenly, a shout rings out from the top of the wall. Man the catapults. It echoes above the din. Return the fire. The catapult operators respond with practiced swiftness, hurling their own missiles towards the enemy. But for now, the trebuchets remain silent, their deadly work momentarily done. You wipe the sweat from your brow, letting out a breath you didn't realize you'd been holding. But even as you relax, you know this is only the beginning. The real battle has yet to come. And indeed, as the morning deepens, the attackers stir. You watch, heart pounding, as figures start to appear on the horizon, slowly growing larger. Men, hundreds of them, maybe thousands, surge forward in wave after wave. They move with a terrible purpose, their banners snapping in the wind like the wings of predatory birds. The knights beside you stir, readying themselves for the coming clash. For God and for Acre, your brother-in-arms shouts, raising his sword. For God and for Acre, you answer, surprised by the strength of your own voice. Then, as the first attackers draw close, you join the battle cry. Together, you and your fellow defenders give voice to your defiance, drowning out the enemy's shouts with a roar that echoes across the besieged city. In the ensuing chaos, you find yourself pressed against the cool masonry of the wall, the vibrating shouts of the attackers echoing in your ears. Every so often, the rhythmic thud of an arrow finding its mark pierces the air. Beside you, a knight raises his visor, revealing a face streaked with grime and sweat, his eyes blazing with grim determination. He gestures to a pair of archers who have climbed into position on the battlements. "Take cover," he bellows over the din, and you drop to the relative safety of the crenellations, though there is little safety here. You watch as the archers take aim, their bows taut with deadly intent. Then, almost in slow motion, they release their arrows. You see the shafts arcing through the air, glinting in the sunlight like deadly darts. You duck instinctively, just as a bolt whizzes past your head, embedding itself in the masonry above you. Sand trickles down your face, mingling with the dust and ashes that swirl around you. Adrenaline surges through your veins, quickening your breath, sharpening your senses. This is real, you think, as real as the scrape of a boot on stone behind you, or the metallic temps of blood on your lips. The time for hesitation is gone. From somewhere below, the clang of steel on steel rises, blending with the shouts of men and the thud of weapons finding their marks. The enemy is close now, so close that you can hear the rasp of their voices, smell the sweat and leather and fear that clings to them. Above you, a knight cries out as he loses his grip on the wall, plunging into the abyss below. You can only watch, helpless, as he falls, a fleeting glimpse of terror on his face before he disappears from view. A strangled cry catches in your throat, but it's lost in the din of battle. A hand grips your shoulder, pulling you back from the edge. "It's okay." A booming voice cuts through the noise. You turn to see the knight from before, his armor scratched and battered, but his expression is determined. The sun dipped below the horizon, plunging the world into darkness. Night's quiet settles like a cloak over the city of Acre. You stand atop the ruined wall, gazing out over the smoldering camps below. Through the gloom, you see the flickering glow of torches and hear the murmur of voices, the clink of tankards. Atop the crescent moon tower, you are safe for now. But you know it's only a matter of time before the English return to finish what they started. You shiver, pulling your cloak tighter against the night chill. The fires that have ravaged Acre throughout the day have left the air thick with smoke. The stench of burning wood mingles with the coppery temps of blood, creating a sickeningly sweet aroma that clings to the back of your throat. But amidst the destruction, a new smell is rising, one that speaks of death and decay. It's subtle at first, but soon it will become all too clear. The siege has lasted for months, turning the once proud city of Acre into a graveyard. Now the stench of death hangs heavy in the air, carried on the evening breeze, mingling with the sounds of dying men and the cries of the wounded. Below you, the remnants of King Edward I's army make camp, their shouts and laughter echoing eerily in the ruined city. They celebrate another day of victory, unaware of the horrors that await them in the morning light. From your vantage point, you can see the true extent of the damage wrought by the siege. Homes are burnt and destroyed. Corpses litter the ground, and the sea, once teeming with life, is now choked with dead fish. Their bloated bodies floating listlessly on the surface. Everywhere you look, you see the grim evidence of war, the shattered remnants of a once great city. It's a scene of unimaginable devastation, and yet amidst the ruins there is a glimmer of hope. You see a small group of defenders, led by a grizzled veteran named Balian, scrambling to repair the breached walls. They work tirelessly, driven by a desperate hope of holding out just a little bit longer, of seeing one more sunrise over Acre. As you watch, you feel a surge of admiration for these brave souls who refuse to give up in the face of overwhelming odds. In the distance, you see the flickering lights of the Holy Roman Emperor's relief force. They're close. You can feel it in your bones. And with each passing moment, hope grows that salvation is at hand. But then a chilling thought strikes you. What if the English are prepared for the relief force? What if they've anticipated your arrival and laid a trap? You glance down at the English camp once more, trying to catch another glimpse of movement, of activity that might betray their intentions. But the shadows are deep and secrets lie hidden. You can't tell if this is a moment of respite or a lull before the storm. And so you stand there, caught between hope and despair, watching, waiting for the dawn to break over the ruined city of Acre. As the first rays of sunlight touch the horizon, you know that a new day has begun in the Siege of Acre. The battle for survival rages anew. Will you be able to hold out long enough for the relief force to arrive and save you from the clutches of King Edward I? Or will Acre fall and you perish alongside it? The fate of the city, perhaps even your own destiny, hangs in the balance as the sun rises over the smoldering ruins of Acre. Balian, his face streaked with grime and exhaustion, raises his head as a sound carries over the ramparts. A horn, long and mournful. He looks to you, his eyes filled with urgency. "They come," he says, his voice hoarse. "The English are coming." He turns back to the wall, his gaze fixed on the distant road leading into the city. "We must hold," he mutters, more to himself than anyone else. "For the sake of Acre, for the sake of our God." With newfound determination, you join your companions in their desperate task. The horns sounded the alarm, calling every able-bodied defender to the ramparts. Despite the toll the siege has taken, men, women, and children alike answer the call, grabbing whatever weapons they can find and rushing to the defense of their city. The spirit of defiance burns bright in their eyes, refusing to let Acre fall without a final, desperate stand. Together, you form a ragtag army, united by a common purpose, protecting what little remains of the city's defenses. With crude weapons in hand, you stand shoulder to shoulder, ready to face the English onslaught. But even as you fight, a part of you knows that this may be a futile gesture. The English are too strong, their resources too vast. Can you really hope to hold them off until the relief force arrives? Or is this merely a delaying action, a last-ditch effort to buy time? In the midst of the chaos, you find yourself swept up by a surge of adrenaline. Each clang of steel on steel, each shout and oath echoes in your ears, fueling your determination. You fight with the ferocity of a cornered animal, driven by an instinct to survive. But as the hours pass and the English grow bolder, you begin to tire. Your arms ache, your muscles burn, and the relentless pressure of the English attack leaves you battered and bruised. And then through the smoke and the haze, you see him. King Edward I, his armor gleaming in the sunlight, his banner held high, leads the charge. He rides at the head of his knights, a fearsome force of destruction, smashing through the defenders' ranks as if they were made of straw. Before you, the English are unstoppable, their numbers seemingly endless. For a moment, you doubt your ability to hold them off any longer. Is this the end? Will Acre fall and all your efforts be in vain? As the situation grows more desperate, you find yourself relying on your training, on the lessons learned in countless battles past. You remember the words of your old knight, the importance of discipline, of strategy, of never giving up. Drawing strength from his teachings, you rally the defenders around you, forming a shield wall. You deflect the English arrows that rain down upon you. You parry and thrust, your sword flashing in the sunlight, each move a testament to years of practice and dedication to your craft. I can still remember the feeling of awe and fear as I first descended into those underground chambers. It was like stepping into the heart of history, into a place where time itself seemed to stand still. And what we discovered down there, well, that was nothing short of astonishing. We found coded parchments, some of them going back almost 900 years. They were filled with cryptic symbols, ciphered texts, and hidden messages, all left behind by the Knights Templar, a holy order founded in the 12th century to protect pilgrims on their way to the Holy Land. But they were much more than that. These Templars, they became a military force to be reckoned with, a fortress of faith in the face of the encroaching darkness. Yet even they had secrets, things they hid beneath the very foundations of the chapel they built, a place seemingly sacred but concealing something far more clandestine. Join me now as we delve into the musty archives. Sift through aged documents and attempt to decipher the Templars' hidden language. We may not have all the answers, but together we'll uncover pieces of a story that has been buried for centuries. And if you love stories like this, please don't forget to subscribe, because every week we bring you tales of history's hidden mysteries. Now, let's go back to our story. You find yourself in the archive of the Knights Templar, a secret chamber nestled beneath the chapel you just explored. Dusty bookshelves tower over you, holding countless volumes bound in leather and studded with metal clasps. Some are locked, their secrets resting behind iron bars. Others lie open, revealing brittle pages filled with spidery script. The air hangs heavy with the scent of aging paper and hushed whispers of bygone scholars. Amongst them, you notice a book bound in black leather, its cover devoid of any markings except for an embossed Templar cross. Curiosity piqued, you reach out to open it. The musty pages stir, releasing a cloud of aged parchment and ink. You turn through the brittle leaves until your gaze falls upon a sketch of the vault you currently occupy. Deftly, you trace the lines of the drawing, noting the placement of the bookshelf and the array of arcane symbols scattered across the pages. These aren't mere illustrations. They're a cryptic guide, a roadmap to a deeper layer of the Templar archives. With the map secured, you scan your surroundings, searching for clues. Your gaze lands on the bookshelf, its construction identical to the one depicted in the drawing. As you approach it, you notice a slight bulge in the middle shelf, almost imperceptible unless you knew what to look for. Pressing your fingers against it, you feel a hollow thud. This is no ordinary bookshelf. It's a portal to the next level of the Templar archives. Taking a deep breath, you press harder, the bookshelf groaning in protest before slowly swinging inward. Beyond lies a narrow passage, its walls lined with smooth stones that have echoed with hushed whispers of countless scholars throughout the ages. The air within is still and cool, carrying the faint scent of mildew and distant ages. At the end of the passage, you find a small chamber illuminated by a single ray of light filtering through a high window. Within, you see an ornately carved wooden desk and a chair made of dark, sturdy oak. Upon the desk rests a quill, ink bottle, and a collection of sealed envelopes tied with black ribbon. In the center sits a leather-bound journal, its cover unadorned save for a single embossed Templar emblem. As you flip through the journal, the scent of old leather and dried ink envelops you. Each page is filled with precise script detailing not just Templar history, but hidden places and secret knowledge. This isn't a record of battles or conquests, but a guide to the most clandestine aspects of the Order. A testament to their beliefs and practices kept from prying eyes. In the margins, you spot small sketches of arcane symbols, each intricately detailed, almost like a secret code. And then there's a page marked with a small red dot in the margin. The text here seems like a simple prayer, but when read aloud, the words form a coherent phrase. When spoken aloud, the syllables weave together to form a phrase. Where light pierces darkness, wisdom resides. You realize that these aren't just words, but a key to deciphering the Templars' hidden language. Turning back to the symbol page, you begin to interpret the images in the context of the phrase. The sketches seem to depict windows and sources of light. With renewed understanding, you close the journal, your mind racing with the implications of what you've discovered. You leave the journal where it was found, careful not to disturb the sanctity of the scholar's workspace. From the desk, you pick up the sealed envelope addressed to you. With trembling hands, you break the seal and unfold the contents. Inside, you find a map drawn on aged parchment, detailing not just locations, but types of windows and sources of light. The map seems to be a key, linking arcane symbols, scripture, and architectural features. But what exactly are you unlocking? What do these symbols and texts reveal about the Templars and their hidden knowledge? Before you embark on your journey guided by the Templar Journal, it's essential to understand that the Knights Templar were an enigma even in their own time. While popularly known as fierce fighters, 90% of Templars were actually administrative employees of the Church. Their roles ranged from managing estates when nobles went on crusade to acting as bodyguards for popes. Templars took vows of celibacy, poverty, and obedience, but they also followed an unwritten vow of silence. They believed in the power of discretion and secrecy. So much so that very little is known about their internal structure and activities. Most of what we know comes from outside observers, who often painted a skewed picture due to their own agendas. So why the secrecy? Why did the Templars shroud themselves in such mystery? One reason was to maintain their image as God's instruments, stern and unwavering. Another was to protect their secrets, both mundane and profound. Keeping secrets was part of their daily life. Templars were entrusted with sensitive information, from PayPal correspondence to the personal affairs of the elite. In the absence of modern security, secrecy was paramount. A misplaced document could have dire consequences. A whispered conversation could change the course of a crusade. The Templars had to be absolutely sure that their walls were truly deaf. In the medieval world, the concept of conspiracy was nascent. People didn't conspire in the modern sense, but individuals often acted in their own self-interest. For Templars, silence was golden. It wasn't just about loyalty to the order. It was about self-preservation. If a secret got out, It could implicate more than just the individual who shared it. Trust was everything, and without trust, the order couldn't function. For instance, imagine a simple secret: the location of a cache of supplies. If word got out, rival groups or enemies could raid the stash, but revealing such information might accidentally implicate others. So how did the Templars manage all these secrets? Through a combination of carefully worded oaths, elaborate codes, and a culture of discretion. New recruits likely swore oaths not just to the order, but also to secrecy. Codes were used to disguise important information within mundane texts. Messages were encrypted, disguised, or split into parts entrusted to different couriers. Discretion wasn't taught, it was ingrained. Every Templar understood that their loyalty was tested not just by what they said, but what they kept quiet. The secret chambers you've discovered are just one facet of this larger picture. They're physical manifestations of an ethos that pervaded every aspect of the Templar order. These chambers are silent witnesses to an era when discretion wasn't just a virtue, it was a necessity. They're a testament to the Knights Templar, an enigmatic order that continues to fascinate and elude our understanding even today. In these dark and silent chambers, you've uncovered more than just physical artifacts. You've glimpsed a way of life, a code of conduct that thrived in secrecy. The Templars may be gone, but their ethos of discretion and hidden knowledge lives on in these subterranean chambers beneath the chapel. They serve as a reminder of an era when the line between light and darkness was often blurred, when faith and secrecy intertwined in ways we can barely comprehend today. As you make your way through the labyrinthine tunnels, the secrets of the Templars cling to the damp stone walls like shadows. Each turn, each archway reveals another piece of a puzzle that has been centuries in the making. What other revelations await you in the Templar archives? What other secrets will you unearth from the depths of these forgotten chambers? The Templar story is vast and intricate. The scraps of knowledge you've gathered here are like threads in a tapestry, each leading to a different corner of medieval history. Unraveling them would lead you not just to the Templars' lost vaults, but to a deeper understanding of an era defined by faith, secrecy, and relentless pursuit of knowledge. Now it's your turn. What mysteries of the Templar archives have you discovered? What secrets have you unlocked from the depths of these ancient chambers? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue the journey of discovery together. And if you want to keep exploring the hidden realms of history, please don't forget to subscribe. Every week, we bring you new adventures, new discoveries, and new tales of history's greatest mysteries. The flickering candlelight dances in your eyes, revealing cryptic symbols and indecipherable words written in a language long forgotten. You found a hidden vault filled with coated parchments, remnants of secrets the Templars sought to preserve for eternity. But these aren't just relics of the past. They're a puzzle box leading to deeper mysteries. Before you lie rows upon rows of ancient documents bound in leather and sealed with wax, each one a potential key to unraveling a lost chapter of history. But how do you decipher their hidden meanings? The Templars were renowned for their skill in cryptography, employing ciphers and codes to safeguard their secrets from prying eyes. These archives are a testament to their dedication to secrecy, but they also present you with a formidable challenge. As you delve into this segment of the game, you'll need to flex your analytical muscles, deciphering cryptic messages and solving intricate puzzles. Your journey through the Lost Templar archives will test your wit and patience, but the rewards for success are immense. Imagine the thrill of cracking a centuries-old code or uncovering a hidden message that has lain dormant for so long. The satisfaction of solving these puzzles will be a testament to your sharp eye for detail and your ability to think critically. But remember, this is no ordinary vault. There are whispers in the shadows here, echoes of the past that can guide or mislead you. Can you navigate the labyrinth of secrets within the Templar archives without losing your way? It's time to put your knowledge and intuition to the test. Uncover the secrets of the Templar archives and let your journey through history begin. You examine the first parchment, its aged surface bearing strange symbols that seem to shift and change as you move. A chill runs down your spine as you realize these aren't merely decorative motifs. They are a cipher, a secret code waiting to be deciphered. With careful precision, you note down the symbols, committing them to memory. Then you turn your gaze to the flickering candle flame, its dancing light illuminating the hidden patterns within the markings. Each symbol aligns perfectly with a letter of the alphabet. You've stumbled upon a simple substitution cipher, a cryptographic technique as old as writing itself. By understanding this, you can unlock the secrets held within these ancient texts. The next parchment is inscribed with a series of seemingly random numbers. At first glance, it appears to be a jumbled mess, devoid of any discernible order. But upon closer inspection, you notice a peculiar pattern. The numbers correspond to letters of the alphabet, forming a coherent message when translated. You've encountered a polyalphabetic cipher, a more complex cryptographic method used by the Templars to ensure their secrecy. With your knowledge of ciphers and a bit of deduction, you can crack this code and reveal the hidden message. But the Templars were masters of concealment, and the depths of their secrecy remain unexplored. Deeper within the archives, you discover a hidden compartment containing an ornately carved box. Its intricate design conceals a sophisticated locking mechanism that baffles your understanding. To open this box, you must embark on a thrilling treasure hunt across the Templar ruins, seeking out the key to its mysteries. As you explore the crumbling structures, you uncover cryptic clues and solve challenging puzzles, each one bringing you closer to the box's secrets. The key to deciphering the Templars' most closely guarded secrets lies within reach. But are you prepared to face the final challenge? The Grand Vault containing the Templar archives is a testament to their enduring legacy, but it also holds the key to your own success in this game. Within this hidden chamber, you'll find the answers you seek, but only if you can navigate its secrets. Will you be able to unlock the final vault and claim the prize of your Templar adventure? Or will the secrets of the archives remain just out of reach? The choice, dear player, is ultimately yours. The echo of forgotten wisdom reverberates through the ages, waiting for someone like you to rediscover its secrets. Are you up for the challenge? Let the thrill of the chase guide you as you delve deeper into the world of the Templars and uncover the hidden truths that await. Your journey through the Templar archives is far from over. There are still many secrets to uncover and mysteries to solve. But with your wits and determination, there's nothing you can't decipher. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep searching for the answers that lie dormant within the ancient texts. Who knows what treasures of knowledge and understanding await your discovery? You emerge from the hidden vault and descend a narrow stair, each footfall muted against ancient stone. A heavy oaken door swings open into a vast hall, where marble columns rise like silent sentinels to ward a vaulted ceiling. See if you can imagine yourself stepping into this hushed chamber. The air is faintly cool, scented with beeswax and old parchment. Dozens of candles sputter, casting a gentle light upon the scene before you. Here we are in the Grand Master's chapter house. The architecture of authority, the columns stand in measured rows, their smooth shafts glowing softly in the glow of the candles. Each flicker casts dancing shadows against the carved capitals. Vines, crosses, fleur-de-lis, symbols of faith and order reaching towards the vaulting. Look down beneath your boots. The mosaic floor tells its own quiet story. Tesserae of blue and gold forming an emblem of the Templar cross. With each step you take, you hear a gentle echo, a reminder that you walk upon history itself. The seating of the chapter, long oaken benches line the hall, their backs worn by centuries of silent vigil. And there at the center stands the Grand Master's seat, a raised dais with a tall, high-backed chair carved in the shape of a Gothic arch. Imagine the weight of authority it holds, even when empty. You slip into a bench at the rear, heart steady, breathing slowly. Watch the candle's reflections play across faces lined with quiet purpose. turn your gaze to the far end of the hall, and now you see them emerging from the shadows, other Templars of the chapter, each clad in the Order's midnight blue mantle, their cowled heads bowed in solemn procession. Their steps whisper across the stone floor, their presence filling the chamber like the scent of wood smoke on a winter's night. They move with a practiced grace, years of ritual etched in every gesture. As they reach the center, a hush falls over the assembly. The Grand Master takes his place upon the dais, his white robes lending him an otherworldly air. A knight steps forward, bearing a silver platter aloft, its surface polished to mirror the flickering candlelight. The ritual of oaths. A low murmur rises from the assembled Templars as the Grand Master beckons with a raised hand. He lifts a chalice filled with water, its surface still as glass, and invites you forward with a slight inclination of his head. You feel a gentle coolness brush your fingertips as you dip your hands, washing away doubt and worldly concerns. Kneeling on the cold flagstones, you bow your head. In a voice barely above a whisper, you repeat the ancient vow: to live without personal possession, to maintain steadfast silence, to defend the weak and the helpless, to stand as a bulwark against the enemies of God and Holy Church. Your words hang in the candlelit hush, then fade into the distant drip of water from a nearby fountain. When all have spoken, the Grand Master raises his glass. High, for the Order, for the vows we have made. The others respond in unison, their voices echoing with conviction. For the Order, for the vows we have made. The ceremony continues, but for now, your initiation is complete. You rise and rejoin the ranks, taking your place among the other Templars. As the chapter commences, your gaze sweeps across the hall, drinking in the scene before you. The candles flicker. The marble columns stand sentinel, and the faint scent of beeswax mingles with the solemn murmurs of the brethren. You catch snippets of conversation carried on the candlelight, whispered accounts of recent missions, rumors of distant threats, and plans laid for the coming days. But there are other sounds too. The scrape of a chair, the rustle of a cloak, the sigh of air conditioning through a narrow window high above. Each sound weaves together a tapestry of duty, secrecy, and unwavering commitment. For a moment, you lose yourself in the rhythm of the room, the ebb and flow of hushed voices and rustling garments. It's a symphony of the unseen, a testament to lives lived in the shadows. A sudden movement startles you from your reverie. A knight rises, excusing himself with a murmured word to his companion. He walks with purposeful strides to the Grand Master, who listens intently, his head inclined. Now they are exchanging what seems to be a subtle sign. A slight tilt of the head, the crossing of two fingers beneath the cloak, signs known only to those within the order. This silent language binds you closer, an unspoken bond stronger than any spoken word. Candle flames sputter as a breeze drifts through the narrow windows high above. You lean forward, listening to a fellow squire's quiet question, "Any news from the south?" His companion replies in a soft voice, "Only rumors, brother, only rumors." The answer hangs in the air like the scent of distant rain, elusive and tantalizing. As the chapter continues, you find yourself drawn to the intricate details of the hall. Your gaze lingers on the carvings that adorn the capitals, the swirling patterns of the mosaic floor, and the stern visage of the Grand Master enthroned at the far end. It's in these details that you discover layers of meaning, stories whispered across the centuries. The carvings speak of biblical tales, of warriors and kings, of prophets and miracles. They serve as silent reminders of the Order's sacred mission. And then there's the mosaic floor, a kaleidoscope of gold and azure beneath your feet. Each piece, a tiny world unto itself, a testament to the skill of long-dead artisans. As you walk, the floor tells its quiet story, the emblem of the Templar cross growing ever clearer beneath your tread. At the rear of the hall, behind a heavy tapestry depicting the fall of Jerusalem, you notice a change in the wall, a subtle shift in texture or pattern. It's an invitation, a whisper of something concealed. You step closer, and as you do, the tapestry stirs, revealing a narrow door set into the stone. The door remains closed, but you sense that what lies beyond is equally shrouded in mystery and purpose. For now, you resist the urge to investigate further. There is still much to learn here in the main hall, much to absorb in the rituals and teachings of the Order. But the sight of the hidden door lingers in your memory, a promise of secrets yet to be uncovered. As the chapter draws to a close, the Grand Master rises, his figure silhouetted against the flickering candlelight. He speaks in hushed tones, his words echoing with authority. "Brethren, our duty calls us ever onward. Let us carry the light of faith into the darkness and defend the innocent with unwavering courage." His words ignite a fervor within you, a sense of purpose and dedication. You feel a surge of loyalty, not just to the Order, but to the ideals it represents. In that moment, surrounded by your fellow Templars in the hallowed halls of the chapter house, you understand why they give up the comforts of home and hearth, why they willingly embrace a life of hardship and sacrifice. For they are part of something greater than themselves, an order bound by vows and duty, by unshakable bonds of brotherhood and loyalty. You stand as one with them, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead, whatever dangers may befall you. You will not falter. you are a Templar, and your destiny awaits. The chapter ends, and the Templars slowly file out of the hall. One by one, they disappear through the heavy oak doors, leaving you alone with the fading echoes of their footsteps. As the last traces of warmth and light retreat, the shadows deepen in the Grand Master's chapter house. Only the flickering candle flames remain, casting long, dancing shadows upon the marble columns and ancient mosaic floors. With the hall now empty, save for yourself, you turn toward the hidden door behind the tapestry of Jerusalem's fall. Curiosity, perhaps even apprehension, tugs at you, urging you to uncover what lies beyond. This concealed passage intrigues you, promising secrets waiting to be discovered. But the task ahead seems daunting. How could anyone have missed this entrance before? What purpose does it serve, and what might it reveal about the Order's inner workings? Before venturing further, you pause to take stock, pulling your hood more tightly against the encroaching chill. Your grip tightens on the pommel of your sword, a silent promise of defense should danger lurk in the shadows. Drawing a deep breath, you step toward the tapestry, its somber image a stark reminder of the battles fought and perhaps yet to come. Slowly, you begin to push aside the heavy fabric, revealing the dark opening beyond. With the tapestry shifted, you peer into the gloom, trying to pierce the darkness with your gaze. The faintest glimmer of light catches your eye, a lantern's glow beckoning from the depths of the passage. Hesitantly, you take the first step into the unknown, the scrape of your boot against stone echoing in the sudden silence. As you venture deeper into the corridor, the faint scent of beeswax and old parchment fades, replaced by the musty aroma of aged stone and leather. The darkness presses in around you, punctuated only by the occasional sliver of light filtering through cracks in the stone walls. The lantern ahead grows brighter, casting dancing shadows that twist and turn into strange shapes. At the far end of the corridor, the outline of a door emerges from the gloom, its surface worn smooth by countless touches. You approach cautiously, your hand outstretched to test the handle before you push it open. Then you pause, listening intently. All is still. Taking a deep breath, you push the door inward, stepping into a chamber where shadows play across the walls and the scent of old books hangs heavy in the air. At the far end, a single lantern illuminates a small table laden with sealed scrolls and volumes bound in leather. The sight before you is both intriguing and sobering. These must be the Grand Master's most private instructions, his innermost thoughts and strategic plans hidden away in this secret chamber. Yet how did he manage to keep such an important archive concealed? The answer, you realize, lies in the very nature of this place, in the hidden door behind the tapestry and the nondescript stone door leading to this chamber. Each barrier serves not just as a physical obstruction, but as a testament to the Order's commitment to secrecy and discretion. Here in the Grand Master's chapter house, tucked away in a forgotten corner of the fortress, you have stumbled upon the heart of the Templars' operations, a place where power and knowledge intertwine in the flickering glow of a single lantern. The Grand Master entrusted this chamber with his most closely guarded secrets, perhaps even the Order's ultimate fate. And now you find yourself standing in its presence, the weight of history pressing in upon you. As you explore the chamber, your gaze lingers on the sealed documents, imagining the words they hold, the strategies and plans that have shaped the Order's destiny. You run your fingers lightly along the worn spines of the books, feeling the echoes of countless decisions made and lives touched. Each scroll and volume whispers tales of bravery, intrigue, and sacrifice, of battles fought and alliances forged in the name of the Order. The very walls seem to hum with the energy of centuries past. But your time here is limited. The Grand Master's secrets are safe for now, but who knows when you might need to consult these archives again. So you make a mental note of the contents, committing their placement and arrangement to memory. When you return to the tapestry, the heavy fabric feels different somehow, more substantial, more resistant, as if sensing the significance of what lies behind it. You take a step back, letting the shadows of the grand chapter house fall around you once more. As you leave the chamber, you remember the musty scent of old books, the feel of ancient scrolls beneath your fingertips, the faint glow of the lone lantern illuminating secrets best left undisturbed. The Grand Master's chapter house, a place where whispers echo across the centuries, where shadows dance with hidden meanings, and where the very stones bear silent witness to the Order's unwavering pursuit of its sacred duty. You emerged from the secret chamber, your heart beating a steady tattoo against your ribs. The Grand Master's chapter house lay before you, its vastness humbling in the flickering lamplight. Your gaze swept across the hall, taking in the solemn faces of your fellow Templars, each a reflection of your own purpose and dedication. You were united here in this hallowed space, bound by the vows you had sworn and the trials you had faced. As the chapter commenced, your mind raced, sifting through every detail of the secret chamber. The cryptic scrolls, the cryptic texts. The weight of the Grand Master's trust settled upon you, a solemn reminder of the responsibility now resting on your shoulders. Amidst the murmur of voices and the gentle swaying of candle flames, you found solace in the familiar rhythm of the Order. Here in the heart of the chapter house, you were not just a seeker of truth, but a guardian of secrets, a protector of faith. And as the night wore on, you knew that this was only the beginning. The path ahead was fraught with challenges and uncertainties, but you were prepared. You had tasted the bittersweet nectar of hidden knowledge, and it had ignited a fire within you, a burning determination to uphold the tenets of the order. The Grand Master's chapter house stood silent, watching over the proceedings with its ancient grandeur. Its marble columns seemed to thrum with the echoes of centuries past, bearing silent witness to the secrets whispered within its walls. And you, a humble Templar, were now a part of this legacy, forever bound to the hallowed halls of the Order. The heat of the midday sun beats down upon the city of Acre, the air thick with the scent of sweat and sawdust. But here, deep within the bowels of the fortress, the Grand Master's chapter house is a sanctuary of cool marble and hushed voices. You are but a humble visitor, a pilgrim drawn to these hallowed halls by tales of knights clad in white and the echoes of solemn oaths whispered beneath these very columns. You push open the heavy oak door and step inside, its surface worn smooth by centuries of pilgrims like yourself. The chamber is dimly lit, the air heavy with the scent of beeswax and old stone. Before you rises a sea of white marble columns, their surfaces polished to a mirror sheen by countless supplicating hands. Each one is a silent sentinel guarding secrets whispered in the dead of night. You run a hand along the cool stone, feeling the power that surges from it, the strength of the Templars who stood here before you, their voices echoing through time. You can almost hear their hushed tones discussing strategy or offering fervent prayers. Suddenly, a draft stirs around you, carrying with it the faintest whisper of voices, a litany of names spoken in a language long forgotten. Startled, you turn to find the source, catching a glimpse of parchment and ink in some forgotten cranny of the vault above. As if stirred by your own thoughts, a breeze begins to stir through the chamber, rustling the pages of ancient texts stored here in these high shelves, their leather covers and yellowed edges hinting at the secrets they hold. You move deeper into the chamber, past suits of weathered armor hanging like silent specters on the walls, each dent and scratch telling tales of battles long past. A cold stone floor gives way to a tapestry of worn flagstones beneath your feet, each step echoing with the footsteps of history. And then you see it, an archway tucked between two towering columns, draped with a heavy velvet curtain. Curiosity piqued, you pull it aside, revealing a small, dark opening. Beyond, you hear the soft murmur of voices, drawing you closer like a moth to a flickering flame. As you step through, the curtain falling softly behind you, you find yourself in a small, candle-lit room. The air is thick with incense, the flickering flames dancing in the darkness, casting long shadows that twist and turn on the vaulted ceiling. In the center of the room, a single figure kneels before a low table, head bowed in prayer. Slowly, reverently, they rise, turning to face you with a kind smile. Their simple tunic and tonsure marking them as a man set apart, a guardian of ancient wisdom in these hallowed halls. As he speaks, you feel the presence of those ancient knights, their spirits woven into the fabric of these chambers, their courage and conviction resonating within you. You ask him about the archive, your curiosity piqued by tales of hidden lore and secret histories. The monk's eyes twinkle with ancient knowledge as he ushers you toward a heavy, ornately carved wooden door set deep within the chapter house. With a slight nod, he opens it, revealing a dimly lit chamber filled with ancient texts bound in leather and stamped with the seals of long-lost orders. But the night is still young, and Acre's secrets lie waiting to be uncovered. Will you heed the call of adventure and explore further, braving the dangers that lurk in the shadows? Or will you rest for now, letting the spirit of the Templars guide you in your dreams? The choice, as always, is yours. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this segment, don't forget to show your support. And may the spirit of adventure guide you on your own path to discovery. Until next time, keep exploring.